Hello, welcome to the Daily News Bulletin from Hanoi. Here come the highlights.
National Assembly passes 4 laws. Ministry of Foreign Affairs hosts regular press conference. And later on, elderly teacher hosts special classes for disadvantaged students.
The National Assembly passed the revised laws on the National Assembly Organization and Social Insurance on November 20.
The newly revised law on the organization of the National Assembly stipulates that the National Assembly deputies have the right to request the legislature conduct a vote of confidence on a person holding a position elected or approved by the body. The law has 7 chapters and 102 articles. It stipulates in greater details the scope of the National Assembly deputies' activities. The revised law on social insurance has 9 chapters and 125 articles. The newly passed law gives the Social Insurance Agency the power to conduct specialized inspections on businesses' payments of social insurance, health insurance, and unemployment insurance for employees. The same day, the National Assembly also passed the law on citizen identification and the law on civil status.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs held a regular press conference in Hanoi on November 20.
At the conference, Foreign Ministry spokesman Lê Hải Bình answered reporters' questions about Vietnam's response to the decision by the United States International Trade Commission to keep anti-dumping tax on pangasius imported from Vietnam. We affirmed that Vietnamese companies do not dump frozen char and basa fillets in the U.S. market. The United States International Trade Commission's move to impose anti-dumping tax on pangasius imported from Vietnam is unfair and contrary to the spirit of free trade and the growing economic and trade ties between the two countries. At the conference, Bình said Vietnam highly values the role by the World Trade Organization in the multilateral trade system in general and in resolving international trade disputes in particular. He made the remarks while mentioning the World Trade Organization's November 17th announcement of the panel's final decision on Vietnam's lawsuit against the U.S. imposition of anti-dumping tax on its certain warm water frozen shrimp. The WTO's recent judgment is a positive signal, giving an impetus to the aquaculture, processing and export of frozen shrimp in Vietnam. The panel considered 11 contents in Vietnam's claims and issued rulings on 7 of them, which are considered conducive to the Vietnamese side, especially in administrative proceedings and dumping margins.
Vietnam and the European Union and its member states signed a protocol to the Framework Agreement on Comprehensive Partnership and Cooperation in Brussels on November 19. The pact is set to speed up negotiations on a Vietnam-European Union Free Trade Agreement, expected to be signed next year. The protocol was signed by Vietnamese ambassador to Belgium and head of the Vietnamese delegation to the European Union, Phạm Sang Châu, and Ambassador Stefano Sanian, head of the Italian delegation to the European Union. The document then will be ratified by all signatories. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Ambassador Châu said that the European Union is now a leading trade and economic partner and an important export market to Vietnam. Bilateral relations have grown over the past years, reflected through the great support the European Union has given to Vietnam, as well as the visits by the high-level leaders. They included the visits in August by President of the European Commission, José Manuel Durão Barroso, and the European Union tour in October by Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng. Both the ambassadors said the framework agreement signed by Vietnam and the European Union in June 2012 is an important step to further strengthen and expand the bilateral relations in numerous fields.
I think the EU-Vietnam relations have developed ceaselessly over the past 2 decades. We wish to deepen bilateral ties in various fields of mutual interest. I hope that the document will give an impetus to finalizing negotiations on a EU-Vietnam free trade agreement so that we can sign it next year.
Two-way trade between Vietnam and the European Union has increased steadily, hitting 26.6 billion euros last year, of which 21.3 billion euros were from Vietnam's exports. By the end of last year, the European Union had 1,402 valid projects in Vietnam, with a total reaches the capital of over 14.4 billion euros. Rare maps and documents proving Vietnam's sovereignty over Hoàng Sa or Paracel and Trường Sa or Parsley archipelagos have come closer to the public in an artistic way, as dozens of their ceramics copies are on sale in the southern province of Dong Nai.
The 31 ceramic copies of maps and documents were created by Đinh Công Lai, head of the ceramics faculty at the Dong Nai's Fine Art College, and his associates. Those on displays aim to raise public awareness of the country's sea and island sovereignty. The exhibits include a replica of a Chinese administrative map of provincial boundaries published by China, which shows that the southernmost points of China at that time ended at Hainan Island only, without mentioning Vietnam's Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa. The map of the great country of An Nam, drawn by Jean-Louis Tabert of France in 1838, depicts the archipelago of Paracel, Seo Cát Vàng, Hoàng Sa Island as within Vietnam's waters. It gave a very accurate description of the two archipelagos and confirms that the Nguyen Lots established the Hoàng Sa flotilla to exploit Hoàng Sa Island in the 17th century.
Fair competition in the U.S., supply chains and cybersecurity were the main topics of a seminar held in Ho Chi Minh City on November 19.
The event was co-organized by the U.S. General Consulate and the American Chamber of Commerce in Ho Chi Minh City. Regional Intellectual Property Attaché for Southeast Asia Peter N. Fowler emphasized that U.S. importers attach great importance to fair business practices, including the use of licensed software and the respect for IP rights. He suggested local suppliers pay attention to these issues, as well as cybersecurity, with a view to reducing risk and creating long-term relations with U.S. partners. Experts from the U.S. shared information on legal issues involved in exporting goods to the U.S. market, as well as experience in limiting risk when joining international supply chains. Michael Mudd, Secretary General for the Asia-Pacific of the Open Computing Alliance, introduced the Unfair Competition Act, as well as supply chains and cybersecurity issues to the participants.
A Vietnamese delegation has attended the 2014 International Charity Bazaar held recently at the United Nations headquarters in Geneva to fund charitable projects and programs for children in the world.
The Vietnamese pavilion featured traditional dishes and handicrafts. Every year, the United Nations Women's Guild organizes the bazaar to raise funds for disadvantaged children around the world. Over the years, the bazaar has become a premier event in the international community. The bazaar attracts more than 6,000 visitors and raises more than $300,000 US. International arts, crafts, and food stalls sell their wares, and lottery tickets are on sale with over 200 fabulous prizes to be won.
18 renowned automobile brands are showcasing their latest models at the Vietnam Motor Show 2014 that take place from November 19 to 23rd in Ho Chi Minh City. The show is the most expected automobile event of the year, where participants introduce their most favorite products and latest technologies. Ford is showing off the 1/4. Honda is presenting its hybrid electric sports car NSX1 and two new editions of CR-V and Civic. Jaguar and Land Rover are introducing 3 luxury sub models, including the all-new Range Rover Sport the only Range Rover and the Range Rover Evoque. The Friday event also involves enterprises operating in the support industries, spare parts manufacturing, and the banking and insurance sectors. The Vietnam Automobile Manufacturers Association reported that automobile sales rose by 45% in October year-on-year, totaling 14,919 cars. The total sales are expected to hit 150,000 cars in 2014, up by 36% compared to the previous year. Vietnam spent $1.1 billion on importing 51,000 cars in the first 10 months of this year, nearly doubling 2013's figure. The Swedish Embassy in Hanoi on November 19 announced the winners of a photo contest featuring Sweden's innovation that kicked off in August. The photo adjustable grant by photographer Vũ Quang Ngọc beat over 600 entries nationwide to win first prize. Ngọc was awarded with a trip to the Northern European country. Ball bearing by Hứa Tất Đạt won second prize, and the modern refrigerator and Celsius thermometer by amateur photographer Dr. Vũ Quang Hưng came third. The contest teams Swedish innovations through Vietnamese lenses aim to celebrate the 45th anniversary of diplomatic ties between Sweden and Vietnam. The 27 best photographs from the contest that capture Swedish innovations used in Vietnam were on display at the exhibition. Every Sunday morning for more than 20 years, Mr. Nguyễn Trà has organized special classes for disadvantaged students in the Phương Liên ward of Dong Da district in Hanoi. Thanks to Trà's passion and dedication, many of these young children receive a proper education and build a stable career.
In 1992, when Trà ended his tenure at Lê Quý Đôn High School, he decided to open his first special needs class for these children. In the first few years, he hosted classes at the Trung Tư communal house 4 times per week. Now, aged 82, Trà settled for a once-a-week class every Sunday morning at his home. His age has neither softened his passion for teaching nor his love for his students.
My students are from all kinds of educational levels, from first graders to university students, so I have to divide them into appropriate groups. It doesn't matter how crowded the classroom, I attend to them all. These are disadvantaged children, so often they come to class hungry and do not have their notebooks, so I provide for them as well.
After 22 years of humanitarian work, Trà's entire legacy comes down to a small notebook in which he documented the 300 names of all his students. Each name carries a memory and a feeling of joy. Nguyễn Thị Hồng Vân and her child have attended Trà's classes since the very beginning. With his teachings etched in her mind, Vân managed to find a stable job. Even now, she finds the time to come to her old teacher's class.
I learned about jazz from my friends. Thanks to him, I have gained so much knowledge, which made me more confident to apply for jobs.
My mother attended Mr. Trà's class when she was young, and now I'm studying under his tutelage as well. I feel very happy when I come to Mr. Trà's class every Sunday. I respect him a lot and my studies are improving a lot.
Trà comes from a family deeply rooted in education. In his view, his work is never done, as long as he still has the strength to teach. His only hope is that no student in the world would ever give up on education because of his or her poor background.
We, a part of the local authority, continuously acknowledge Trà and learn from Trà. If it was not for him, our ward would have a lot of school dropouts wandering the streets. Trà has become their family, providing them with guidance, steering them away from a life of crime.
November 20th is a day for Vietnamese students to express their respect and gratitude for their teachers. This national occasion celebrates the dedication and sacrifices that many individuals make in order to prepare the future generation for leading their country. Cha is one of these individuals.
I like coming to Mr. Cha's class. I love and respect him very much. Today is November 20th, and I wish Mr. Cha a long, happy and healthy life.
The bulletin comes to an end. Thank you for watching. See you next time.